Hey, what's up, docs? Ryan G here with BlowUp Local. I just had an audiology test. I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but for the VA, I'm having issues with my hearing in my right side. So they had me go do this test, and it was super weird in a little box, repeating all these weird words, whatever. It was just super weird. But as I was, sitting in the waiting room right before this appointment, I had a call with a chiropractor, and it was an interesting call. So, I asked what he was, what he needed information on, what he was struggling with his practice, and he said, "Well, I'm currently charging 37." He's like, "I have a lot of patients. I have 300 patients a week that I see, so I'm always busy. I don't do any marketing, and it's all just referral kind of base," which honestly, every time anybody ever says that, I automatically know you are not charging. You're barely charging any money, and that's why you have so many people, is that you're just not charging any money. So I said, "How much are you charging for like an adjustment?" He said $37. Dude, that is so crazy. I can't even take my family out to dinner for $37. So you're a doctor and you're charging $37. So, he said, I'd like to make more money. I'd like to be able to have some high ticket, offers. And I said, a really simple, low hanging fruit is just to start charging more with your adjustments. I said, just raise your price for an adjustment by $10, and you'll see a pretty decent little boost in your income just from that, adjustment alone. That would be, almost $3,000 a month or a week of extra income just from an extra $10 price change. And then he said, when I sell my care plans, which is a package of these adjustments, I'm selling it for $1,700. And I was like, oh, okay, well, $1,700. But and I'm not making fun of him, but I want to address the mindset. It's a poverty mindset. So $1,700. I said, sir, do you know that the average care plan price for a chiropractor is $2,500? So you're pretty significantly below like what average is. And I said, let's call him Dennis. I said, Dennis, are you a good chiropractor, an average chiropractor, or a crappy chiropractor? And he said, I'm very good. And I said, okay, all right. So would you agree that if you're the best, if you're a really great doctor, you're probably not the cheapest? And if you're the cheapest, you're probably not that great? And he said, well, yeah, that is kind of true. And I said, yeah, and even if it's not true, even if you really are like the greatest chiropractor that exists, but you're only charging $37 for an adjustment and your competitors are all charging $75, $80, $120, whatever the number is, nobody, even if you are the best, nobody believes that you're the best because you're not positioned to be the best. And then I said, I almost said his name. I said, like, look at your website. I said, your website's rough, man. And he's like, oh, really, you think? And I was like, yeah, I do think. Like, it looks like it's from the late 1980s. Like, this could potentially be one of the first websites ever invented. I'm not sure, but it could easily be one of the very first websites ever invented. So I said, here's the deal, docs. People are judging you. Your patients are judging you when they pull into your practice. They're judging you based on the lawn that's dead. They're judging you based on the tree that's not trimmed, the paint that's peeling. They're judging you based off of your receptionist who was a little bit rude because she's in a bad mood. They're judging you off your website. They're judging you off your price. They're judging you based off the way you look. So if your goal is to charge and make a lot of money, then you have to make sure that, oh my gosh, that homeless guy is going to like walk into traffic. If your plan is to charge a lot of money, then you have to look like a place that deserves to charge a lot of money. But if I'm getting like what's an example here? If back in the day, I bought a car at one of those buy here, pay here places. It's like on the side of the road and it's like muddy and gross, whatever. So I've purchased cars before at places like that. And I've also purchased cars at Cadillac dealerships where it's like very nice and they're bringing me coffee and it's very like luxury and nice because I'm spending a decent amount of money. If you want to charge high amounts of money, you've got to provide that Cadillac Mercedes experience. But if you just want to charge $20, $30, $40 an adjustment, then you can have paint peeling off your wall. You can have fingerprints on the wall. You can have dirty glasses or glass, when you walk in, because that's what people expect when they're paying such a low price. Am I making sense? I hope I am. So I said the very first thing that I would recommend is you should raise your price. And he said, I've been hearing that for years. Lots of people. He's been in multiple practice management groups. Lots of people have told him you need to raise your price. And I said, oh, that's interesting. So why are you resisting? If you've said that that's something you need to do, it sounds like a lot of coaches and people that you've hired to help you get better are telling you to raise your prices, but still you're not doing it. So that tells me a couple different things. It tells me maybe you don't value the expertise of the coaches that you're hiring, which then tells me why the hell are you hiring these people if you're not going to listen to them. It tells me that you could have a poverty mindset where you truly just believe this is all people can afford. And, I shared with him a story about my new chiropractor, Trilogy Chiropractic. I said I went in, they did the exam and the consultation, and then they're doing their financial pitch. And they said, like, for 20 chiropractic adjustments, it's going to be $1,800. And I said, okay, fine. And in my head, I literally thought it was going to be like $5,000 to $7,000. And the reason I thought it was going to be that much is because when I called them to schedule the appointment, man, they were on it. Like, they were so good. Like, I knew I was dealing with an A player. When I went into the office was incredible. It was beautiful. It was amazing. It was brand new. And as soon as I walked in, the entire staff was like, oh, hey, you must be Ryan. Welcome. And I was like, whoo, these people get it. Like, these people are going to crush it. Like, this is going to be an expensive, visit, but I appreciate the hustle. And then they brought me back for the consultation. They were asking all the right questions. They were pre-framing. They were seating. They were getting, like, my goals, my desires. What's the value to me? Like, dude, they were hitting everything. And then you went to that financial spot, and you said $1,800. And I was like, dude, I thought it was going to be, Dr. Paul, I thought this was going to be a lot more money. And he kind of laughed, and he's like, ah, ha, ha. And I said, no, for real, I thought this was going to be like $5,000, and I was prepared to pay it. And he's like, oh, yeah, my business manager told me that I need to raise my prices too. And I said, yeah, I would definitely listen to him since you hired that coach. So then, like a month later, my daughter Paisley was having some issues. So I said, let's go to the chiropractor. So I brought her. We went through the consultation, all that stuff. And then remember, I just told them, you got to raise your prices. I was expecting to pay more. You should charge me more. And then they went through the thing with Paisley, and they said, oh, it'll be $1,700. And I was like, damn, you guys are not getting it. You're not paying attention. So I paid the $1,700. A month later, my wife, Tiffany, is having neck problems. And I said, Tiff, let's go to the chiropractor. They do the consultation. They do the exam, do the finances. It's going to be $1,500. And I was like, man, you guys are going backwards. What the hell is wrong with you? What are you doing? Like, I've told you now 2 separate times that you're not charging enough money, but you're still not doing it. So that tells me it's a mindset thing. It's a mindset thing because you don't believe that people are actually willing to pay that money. And I think this is something that a lot of chiropractors suffer from, is this poverty, scarcity kind of mindset. But, when we started our firearms training business, we were initially charging, I think, $79 for a 1-hour private shooting lesson. And I did it, and we were getting I'm just going to make up a number, but let's say we were doing 20 in a month. And I was like, okay, all right, this is cool, but I don't want to do it for $80 anymore. Let's change it to 100. So we changed the price to 100, and suddenly we have 30 people a month that want to do the private range. And I was like, okay, well, that was weird. So now we're doing 30, and then I said, all right, let's do 150, and let's just see what happens. So we started doing 150, and now all of a sudden we've got like 40 people. And I thought, well, this is annoying. At this time, I started to get annoyed by the private range because we were doing group shooting classes now, and I didn't really want to do this. So I said, let's bump it up to 197 for a 1-hour private range, and that'll reduce it significantly since we don't really want to do it anymore because we're doing the group shooting classes for $100. And then I can have a bunch of people all at once paying me $100, and it's like, the economies of scale. Well, damn it. Guess what happened? We now have like 45 people a month paying me $197 to do the private shooting class. And I was like, this is so flippin' weird. Well, I can tell you right now, we're charging $297 for a 1-hour shooting class. And it didn't go up. It did go down a little bit. But I just find it to be fascinating. So we went from $70, and as we kept increasing that price, we were actually gotten more and more students to sign up. And I have some shooting classes now that we charge over $2,000 just for the shooting class, and people still sign up. And what I've realized is it's not about the money, because money doesn't actually mean anything. Money only has value when you compare it to something else. And I've talked about this in other episodes, but if I said, is $10,000 a lot of money? I think some of you would say, yes, $10,000 is a lot of money. But if I said, I'm going to give you this Lamborghini Aventador, which is a $2.5 million car, if you give me $10,000 cash, I'll give you the Lamborghini Aventador. So now is $10,000 a lot of money? Well, compared to a $2 million item, no, it's not a lot of money. It's very, very, very cheap because I'm going to buy that Lamborghini and I'm going to go take it to the dealership and sell it for $1 million, and they can make another $1 million profit. I don't even care, but I'm going to take my million and I'm going to cash out real quick, right? But if I said, hey, give me $10,000 and I'll give you a pack of gum, is $10,000 a lot of money? Yeah, in comparison to a pack of gum, $10,000 is a lot. That's a lot of money, right? So money only has value when you compare it to something else. So now you're probably wondering, Ryan, what does this have to do with chiropractor? If you are building up the value of eliminating the patient's pain, then the amount of money you charge should be in comparison to the amount of pain that you're eliminating. So, I have severe back pain, and I've said multiple times to lots of different people that if I could write a check for $1 million to somebody to wave a magic wand and my back pain completely go away for the rest of my life, man, I would do it in a heartbeat. So that is $1 million problem to me. So if now that doctor comes and says, hey, Ryan, $10,000 and I can eliminate your back pain, I'd be like, sweet, that's a great deal for me because I'd pay you $1 million, right? Are you guys getting this? Because that is my perception of the value is $1 million. That's how big the problem is in my mind. Now, for other people that have back pain, their back pain might not be severe enough to have $1 million price tag. Their price tag might be $1,000, or it might be $50, or it might be $5. But if the value is only $5, they're not somebody you want as a patient anyway, right? Can you guys see that? You get paid in proportion to the size of the problems that you solve for people. I hope you guys see that. I hope you see the value in that. So the second thing that this doc said, so I gave him that advice, about you should definitely, the low-hanging fruit in your business to make more money is just raise your prices to industry standards. Just do average, and you would be winning, you double your income every year. And then he said, I really want to do high ticket, I want to charge a lot of money for something, but I don't know what to do. And I said, okay. And I said, but like, what's your goal? What do you want to do? And he's like, do you want to do neuropathy? Do you want to do frozen shoulder, knee pain? And he said, I don't know, but I want to have a high ticket thing. I don't know if I don't remember what the quote is exactly, but it says like, when you don't know exactly what you want, you get it every single time or something like that. Or fuzzy targets all never get hit. The truth is, if you don't know what you want, you will always get what you don't want, which is nothing. So if you want something in your life, you have to clearly define what that thing is that you want. And then once you have a clear vision of what it is that you want, then you can create a plan of action for how you're going to pursue that goal or that thing that you truly desire. And in the book, Think and Grow Rich, written by Napoleon Hill, Napoleon talks about this concept, and he calls it the definite major purpose. So the definite major purpose is like the one thing in your life or the one goal that you have for this season of your life. And basically Napoleon was, he interviewed 500 of the world's most successful, wealthiest entrepreneurs to figure out what did highly successful people have in common and what did unsuccessful people have in common. And what he discovered is that highly successful people all had a definite major purpose. They had a clear goal that they wanted to achieve in their lifetime. And then they created a plan of action for how they were going to achieve that goal. And then they took action. They had a burning desire to take the necessary steps to achieve it. So they attacked that goal every single day. And unsuccessful people, they said, I know I want more, but I don't know what I want. I know what I don't want. Like, have you ever felt like that before? I've asked chiropractors, I'm like, what do you want? And they're like, well, I know what I don't want. Okay, well, that does not help. So that's part of it. But you need to clearly define, what do you want in your practice? What do you want in your life? How much money do you want to make? How many hours do you want to work every single week? How many vacations do you want to take every single year? What kind of house do you want to live in? What kind of car do you want to drive? What kind of retirement account do you want to have or lifestyle do you want when you retire? If you don't clearly define those things today, you will never achieve something that you have not set a target out for. So that was kind of my challenge to this doc as I was talking to him. I was like, listen, I think we need to schedule another call, and I think you need to spend some real time sitting and thinking about what you really want, because I can't help you. Could you imagine how bad of a client that would be to have a client say, hey, I want to hire you to help me. And it's like, okay, cool. What am I going to help you with? I'm not really sure. Okay, so what's our goal? How do we know if I actually helped you or not? Yeah, I have no idea. That would be very difficult and very frustrating for me, because I would never know if we're doing a good job or if we're doing a bad job, because I don't even know what we're trying to do, right? So if you want something, you need to clearly define it. Then you need to create a plan of action. And then you need to attack that plan of action every single day with aggressive action. And sometimes you don't have to make big shifts in your practice to have a big shift in your income. Maybe you just need to raise your price to what the average rate is instead of just trying to lowball because you're afraid of spending money on marketing. And that's one of the things, as Doc said, as you said, I don't want to raise my prices because then I'll have less patients. And if I have less patients, then I got to spend more money on marketing, which means I'm going to have less income. So if I raise my price, I think I'm going to have more income, but I'll actually have less income because I'm spending money on marketing. Listen, guys, marketing is free. Did everybody hear me? Marketing is free. If you do marketing properly, the customer is going to pay you money, which covers the marketing costs, right? Like, marketing should never cost you money. When we do our marketing stuff to try to get chiropractors, let's say I spend $5,000 on this marketing piece, but then I get, 5 new clients from it. So that it didn't cost me $5,000. I made to get these 5 customers. I made X number of dollars, right? So it didn't cost me anything. It's leverage. I'm leveraging the money I have now for the money that I'm going to get from this marketing piece. Marketing is free if you do it properly, because you're just using leverage. I hope that makes sense. If you're a chiropractor and if you're a chiropractor and your website sucks, if it looks like it was made in the late 1980s, then please send me a text message, 813-789-9868, and we can help your website stop sucking and start looking amazing so that you can look like a real industry-leading expert with a lot of other cool stuff, the chiropractic marketing system to help you get some new patients. But shoot me a text, 813-789-9868, and I will show you some of the sites that we've built for our clients that are so amazing and makes you want to slap your mama. That's all I've got for today, Doc. So until next time, keep moving forward.